Hello again, Michael Friedberg here from beautiful North Carolina with the 2018 overview video. I have a tremendous amount of ground to cover here, so I have some notes I'm going to have to follow. Let's get right into it. Let's start off with 2018 numbers and statistics. I know people love them some numbers, so here we go. 47 shave videos this year. I came very close to doing a shave video every week. There was some travel included and some weeks where I simply couldn't, but 47 out of 52 weeks, I think I did pretty good there. 47 different soaps. That was a different soap for every video that I made this year. 37 different razors. Now that number did kind of surprise me a bit. I didn't think it was quite that high because I didn't think I even had 37 razors, but it turns out maybe I had more, and I also got some for people to try, so the number was probably actually higher in terms of ones I was able to touch. But I used 37 different razors. The most popular razor of the year, the Fatip Testina Gentile, which I used 3 times this year. There were a number of razors that I used twice. The Fatip Grande, the Icon X3, the BBS1, which of course I used for 2 weeks because, I had it in hand. The R41, Baby Smooth from Razor Rock, the Supply SE, the Fine Aluminum Slant, and the Gillette New Long Comb. Very odd mix of razors in there, but it sort of gives you an idea of just the very wide range of options that you have as a wet shaver. All right, let's talk YouTube stats in 2018. These numbers really shocked me, actually. 1.6 million minutes of watch time. That's a crazy huge number. Almost 290,000 views over the course of the year, and very close to 6,100 subscribers and up 1.1K, almost 1,100 new subscribers for the year. So thank you, first of all, to everybody who's been watching these videos. I really appreciate it. These numbers are kind of staggering. Thank you so much. It just kind of blows my mind a little bit. All right, enough about the numbers. Let's talk shaving, shall we? Card number 2. Yeah, there's so much to cover. I have cards because I can never remember all this stuff. Okay, let's talk about 2018 highlights. I'm not going to do really one of these best of because in fact there's just too many things to choose from, and I don't really know that it's exactly fair to some of those products. So I'm going to talk about the highlights for me, the things that I enjoyed, the things that I really loved using during the course of the year. And then I have a scent, let's see what else I got. Pleasures and surprises. I have a list of scent favorites, and then a very short list of things that did not work so well for me. So let's start off with the highlights, shall we? Number 1, the timeless 0.98 millimeter titanium razor. And this list is not in order, by the way. I'm just sort of grouped them by razors and soaps and so on. Completely shocked at how easy that razor was to use. I thought it was going to be more aggressive than it was. It just shaved so easily and so smoothly. A beautiful balance of weight, beautiful fit and finish, just a fantastic razor. Really, really enjoyed using that. I don't have one, so it's also very nice to be able to use one because, again, as always, people are incredibly generous with their items. The Marvel DE razor. Beautiful, beautiful razor. So easy to use, so comfortable. An interesting face feel, very similar to the BBS1, at least for me. I really quite enjoyed that razor, and I've just recently sent it off to a person in the UK for him to give it a whirl as well. The Supply SE razor. Now, I have a mongoose. There's something about the particular way that those blades feel my face, which may well be just the Kai blades. Not always a very comfortable shave. Of course, the SE, the Supply, is an injector style razor, and I do like the Schick injectors. That razor also worked very, very well for me, and I love the fact that you can actually change the aggressiveness of that razor by swapping out the base plates in there. Great idea, very well executed, and just looks great as well. All right, let's talk brushes. Yaki has done an amazing job this year with a tremendous number of new brush handles, a very wide range of knot styles and knot types, as well as colors, really expanding the range there. I've used both Badger brushes and synthetic brushes from Yaki, and I have enjoyed all of them. And I've also given away most of them. I think I've only kept maybe 2 or 3 out of the ones that they sent. I've been very happy to pass those on to others who are also enjoying them. All right. The Zenith Boar Brush, the good one, the B03A26, which of course is a branding name that rolls right off the tongue. Nonetheless, a fantastic boar brush. Big handle, that was, I think it was the larger metallic style handle. Very nice sort of density to that brush. broken very nicely, and I had to send it back, unfortunately, to the person who loaned it to me. Bit of a sniffle there, but okay, still a beautiful, beautiful boar brush. Another highlight, the Declaration Grooming, the Icarus soap base, and the aftershave. A fantastic combination, beautiful set of products. Was not really familiar with their previous products. I wasn't really, hadn't used those on a regular basis, so kind of coming new to that product, but it is an incredibly well done soap base. The aftershave is a beautiful fit to it. Very, just a tremendous performer, and it just goes to show when people really are pushing hard to improve soap bases, just how far you can go. I'm very, very impressed. Same goes for the Holy Cow, the Donkey Milk Soap. I'm a big fan of milk and soaps, and the Holy Cow Donkey Milk Soap, which was the Man from Mayfair, that combination with the aftershave was a beautiful fit for me. The aftershave toner is excellent. The soap performance is fantastic, and just the combination is really, at least for me, worked very, very well. Let's not forget Katie's Bubbles. So that's a vegan soap, right? I think the recipes or the luxury has sort of stayed pretty much the same. I don't know if that's going through any kind of major transformations, but it is an excellent, excellent soap and so easy to use. And that's one of the things that stands out for Katie's Bubbles is that it is completely effortless to lather. So when people are struggling a little bit, trying to learn how to use a soap, that's one of the soaps I think people should sort of move on to, because there's really nothing to it. You get a beautiful lather almost instantly, almost no effort required. So that was an absolute highlight there. All right, let's talk about one other piece, post-shave oils. So this is something I've actually seen a bit of a resurgence here. There's two to mention here for ones that stood out for me. I've used them in the past, but the two that stand out are the Sebum, and I think I used both the gold and the purple this year, certainly the purple recently, and the Bart's Bombs, the argan oil-based post-shave oil. The benefit of these oils are that, at least for the Sebum, and the true for the Bart's as well, it's a very natural feeling aftershave, so it doesn't have kind of a heavy, greasy, slick layer. It absorbs very quickly into the skin. It sort of moisturizes in a way without adding something like a waxy or greasy feel to it. It's a very nice addition to the post-shave alternatives if you're not really into a kind of a heavy post-shave balm. If you want to do something like an aftershave splash, wait for that to dry down and then add one of these oils after the fact. I think a very, very good option, and nice to see that added to the list of options people have for post-shaves. Another standout for me, another highlight, absolutely the Chatillon Luxe Aftershave Toner. So I got a sample at the Magrid Razors meetup. That toner just works very, very well for me. It's got a very nice face feel. It dries down easily. It doesn't have a weird, sticky, kind of tacky feel to it. That particular one, the scent was fantastic. Just a very, very nice product, and I was surprised at just how much I liked it because I didn't have much experience with their toners. I'd used some of their aftershave balms before. I never used the toner. And one piece of advice, and they're 100% right, always apply those to a slightly damp face. It makes a world of difference. That toner was fantastic. I still have a little bit left in the bottle. That's likely going to be going soon. All right, one more. Sometimes it all comes together by some mysterious mystery, the pieces of the universe, the cogs just all go together. And that was my effort to go for an all Polish shave, which I was surprised at how well that went in some ways. I happened to find, by sheer coincidence, the Visimet, the W11, the razor. That was by coincidence on a subreddit. I happen to have a Polish aftershave. I also managed to get a colleague from Poland to bring over because she happened to be visiting some artisan Polish shave soaps, and I also got the shave with the Visimet Polish blade. So the only thing I didn't have was the brush, but sometimes in life when you try to get something to come together, you're not sure it's going to really work out. That all Polish shave was a real highlight for me because, first of all, it was a great shave with a great set of products, and just nice to see something kind of fun really come together. I think really the main highlight for the year though is the community. So certainly on the YouTube channel here, you've all been so engaged. You've been incredibly helpful to each other. You continue to watch. You continue to contribute. It really makes this really fun to do. Sometimes this is a struggle to keep up. It's a lot of work to do these videos. It's a lot of work to go through and research products and use them for a week. It does take real work to do, but it's always worth it to me because I can just see how much people get engaged, how much people enjoy these videos. So the number one highlight for the year is you guys. Thank you all so much for watching and participating. It means the world to me. All right, 2018 highlights. Well, there's still way more to cover, so get ready, get comfortable. 2018 pleasures and surprises. These are things that I just didn't even think were going to happen, that who even knew. Number one, I got to use 3 different timeless razors. I've been hemming and hawing about maybe buying one because they are, in the scheme of things, that's for you. That's an expensive razor compared to how much I have in a year to sort of budget to spend on shaving products. Buying one of the timeless razors is pretty expensive, but I got to use 3 of them, and it made me really have an immediate strong idea. Okay, if I'm going to buy one, it's likely going to be probably that 0.98 timeless titanium version, just because of the way that it's shaved compared to the bronze, which was a very, very mild head, and then the stainless steel 0.98, which I thought was not really close to the titanium in terms of comfort. But again, getting to use 3 timeless razors because of just people's generosity and shipping them off to me, fantastic. Just, what a surprise. Real pleasure. On top of that, I got to use the BBS1, which is kind of the same thing. I never expected to get to use one because it's kind of a unicorn razor. People that have them are not going to let them out of their sight, except for that one guy who was incredibly generous, sent it off without just a moment's hesitation, got to use it for 2 weeks and then ship it back. That was a real surprise and a tremendous pleasure. Great razor, by the way. Brushes from Grey Dog. We had a bit of a back and forth about the loft on one of the other brushes I used, which was a tuxedo knot. Grey Dog asked if he could send me a brush. I said, sure, why not? I've seen them in other people's videos. They look great. I didn't get 1 brush, I got 3, which is kind of a big surprise there, and they've all been fantastic, and again, a real pleasure to use. I love wood handles. I think people just, people can really show a real sense of artistry when they're using a natural product as well, because there's something about that particular piece of wood, the grain, the stain, the way that you orient it, just, I don't know, lets a real piece of artistry come out there. Fantastic brushes, and just, never expected that. A real surprise. All right, let's talk about my unicorn soap, Dr. Selby. I cannot explain why this is my unicorn soap. I really cannot explain it. I love the retro look of that dish. I love the green color of that soap. I really can't explain why it is. I had never seen it. I'd never touched it. I'd never smelled it. I'd only ever seen pictures of it, but something about it captured my imagination. Luckily, I have a colleague in Uruguay who was able to send some of those soaps off to the United States with colleagues that were traveling to the US. I have given 2 of the 4 that I got away. I'm hoarding the other 2. I do not let them out of my sight. Something about that soap, I don't know what it is. And it also is a really good soap. And it claims something like 400 soaps out of, sort of 400 shaves out of a dish. That may very well be possible. I don't know, because I've only used it for a week, but it didn't look, it was unscathed after the week of shaving. So that was a true surprise and a fantastic, real pleasure to use. All right, let's talk about another unicorn. So one that I'd seen, but I never expected to buy this just because of the price and sort of the way that it comes in this ceramic dish. It's the Panacrema soaps. They are simple. I think they're only 5 ingredient soaps. Somebody sent me 3 very large samples, and I went for the Panacrema Blue, I believe is what I used. Beautiful scent on that. Excellent soap. Very nice post-shave. Again, I never expected to use that, so that was a real pleasure because that's kind of a very high-end soap. It's not hard to get, it's just expensive, and you're investing in something large that, if you now don't like it, also comes in this rather expensive ceramic dish. So there's a bit of a risk there. So I was very happy to try the samples, and surprisingly good soap. Really enjoyed that. Another big surprise was Noble Otter soap base improvements. They came on the scene with a relatively good soap, not a great soap, but a relatively good soap, and an interesting range of scents. I think I got the Flying Hide first, which was the sort of the worked or used leather scent, which I quite liked and passed on to a colleague. But they've made tremendous strides in that soap base, and just it's evidence that, people really take feedback and they really understand how to improve their product and are willing to invest the time in doing that, can make big strides, in part because soap makers around them are demonstrating that there's still quite a lot of life in soap bases. There's a lot of things you can do to improve them. So for Noble Otter, job very well done, and very encouraging to see. All right, I know what I'm going to say is a bit controversial. If you don't like it, you can fight me. I think I like the Barrister Man Glaçon base over the Reserve base. I think it's easier to use for me. I think it delivers a better shave for me. The Reserve base scents, that's a fantastic focus, and those scents are incredibly well done. I love them. In fact, you'll see one of them later on. But in terms of the actual shaving soap, I think I prefer the Glissant base over the Reserve base. Now, I don't know how many more bases Barrister and Mann is going to be producing. At some point, there's going to have to be some kind of lexicon of Barrister and Mann bases. But for the moment, Glissant over the Reserve for me. Another surprise, a fantastic surprise. I've used a lot of razor blades. Some are really good, some are fantastic, and there's a number of them that are just, frankly, some of them, in fact, are awful. But I did not expect to experience two really sort of stellar highlight shaves. One was the Gillette Menorah, which was a blade sent to me by another YouTube viewer, which I knew nothing about, had never seen. A very cool kind of colorful wrapper. That was a really excellent, smooth shave. And then, of course, the Visamet Pole Silver, which I just recently got in 200 of those. That is a fantastic blade, smooth, sharp, easy to use, and I'm going to be holding on to those. I'm going to try to use those again for as many shaves as they're going to work. There's really no reason to toss them too soon because that blade just went and went and went. Beautiful. Always fun to discover something new there. Okay, there's two other highlights, and these are sort of personal highlights. The first is the Maggard meetup. That was so far beyond my expectations. I knew it was going to be busy, but I didn't really quite realize how busy. 250 people sounds like a lot of people in your head, but then when you're standing in a room and it's packed full of vendors and packed full of people, all kinds of people to meet, people to talk to. If we had a chance to meet in person, thank you so much for coming over and saying hello. I wanted to talk to everybody who I wanted a chance to meet with me. I was really kind of surprised at how many people were sort of looking forward to speaking with me. I'm just another guy shaving on YouTube. It just so happens that I do it on YouTube, whatever. Fantastic community there. Really great outreach by the vendors, a fantastic selection of products, lots of great samples, lots of great people, a really fun event. Unfortunately, I cannot make it this year or maybe the year after that because of some other commitments, but hopefully I will be back. And if I am and you're there, let's absolutely get together and meet. And on top of that, not only was the Maggard meetup itself amazing, but true surprise, I was interviewed by Mantic59, which I've watched his videos for years. It's one of the things I watched when I first got into wet shaving. So the idea that I would be one of the people being interviewed by Mantic kind of blew my mind. And that was a real highlight and a completely unexpected surprise. I was very happy that he asked me. I was very happy to do it. And frankly, very enjoyable. So thank you to Mantic59 for giving me the opportunity. All right. Well, so far 2018 has been a fantastic year. Let's move on, my friends, to 2018, my scent favorites. Now, I'm going to show you some of the products. I think there's only one of them that I don't have because I've actually shipped it off as part of a giveaway. So let's run down the list, shall we? Again, this is not ordered top to bottom. This is just the ones from the ones that I've used over the year. If I had to write down the things that I think I enjoyed the most in terms of scent, these are the ones that come to mind. So let's start off with Barrister and Mann, the Fougère Impériale. This was a gift from Jason Rudman. He luckily still has a full tub, so I was happy to take this mostly used tub. And the scent on this, so deep, and rich, and fantastic, and it's never going to be made again. So all you can do is just open it and smell it and then quickly put it away. Fantastic scent. And along the same lines, of course not completely the same, but the next one up, and sort of grouping these by scent families a bit, is the Barrister Mann Reserve Fern. What a beautiful, rich scent as well. Just fantastic. This may seem a little, I don't know, seems like a single note maybe, but that's really not true. Just a beautiful scent. All right. Let's not forget, we still have a number to go. Mickey Lee Soapworks, Colonia di Agrumi. What a beautiful scent. This is just, I don't know, a very classic cologne style scent. Beautiful touch of citrus in there. Really enjoy that. Along the same lines-ish, Baker Street, which is the resurrection of another scent, which has luckily been saved by Sterling. Beautiful scent. Just kind of a classic posh cologne style scent. Very nice. Now, with a vegetal touch from the basil, but sort of in the same family, the Holy Cow Man from Mayfair. Really enjoy this scent. Definitely a different take on the same scent family, but beautiful scent, bit richer. It has a kind of a bit of a deeper scent to it, partly because of the basil in there. Very nice. All right, let's not forget our dear friend, slightly stained, the Creed Green Irish Tweed. Yeah, that just is a, I don't know, and just smells expensive and classic and classy and aristocratic. Just a gorgeous scent. It just makes you want to close your eyes and just keep sniffing it. All right, the one that I don't have because I've given it away was the Abati La Mantilla da Butero, which was their Italian new leather scent, which a beautiful, deep leather scent, just the kind of thing where you got a piece of leather work and you just close your eyes and just smell the leather. Absolutely beautiful. But I passed that on in a giveaway, so I don't have it to show to you, unfortunately. Southern Witchcrafts. This is sort of a standout here because this is a scent unlike any of the others in this list. This is such a different, dark, kind of heavy, ashy, dirty, pungent scent, but I still really enjoyed it. It has some additional sort of fall, autumn scents in there, some pumpkin and some spice. Just a really interesting kind of daring push on the scent side, and really, really enjoyed this. If you like a kind of a heavy, dense, dark scent, definitely give that one a try. All right, I bought this at the Maggard meetup because the second I smelled it, I knew I had to have it. I don't know if this is still available for me. I don't know if this scent is going to continue to live on, but this Chestnut L'Orange is just a beautiful combination of the orange scent and the chestnut. Just a delicious scent, and I quite like it. Maybe not their most popular scent, but for me, a real standout. Let's do yet another Barrister and Mann Rhapsody. This is a little bit stinky in a sense. It has a kind of a pungent Bradford pear-like scent to it, but an underlying sweetness. This is another, what I think of as a little bit dirty, but a delicious scent. I was really surprised actually at how much I like this. I know for some people it's kind of up and down, kind of like night music. I really like this scent. It's got a nice depth to it. It's got an interesting mix of scents. Very, very well done. And the aftershave is slightly lighter. I'm a bit on the sweeter side. So really, really nice scent there from Barrister and Mann. And yes, I have these in the sink because there's not enough room to stack them. So apologies for the clanking. The final one is this collaboration between Chatillon Luxe and Declaration Grooming, which is the yuzu, rose, and patchouli. This is an absolutely beautiful, light, sweet rose and slightly citrusy scent to it. The patchouli is kind of underlying there for me. This is another, I don't know, just a light, delicious scent. Absolutely beautiful. As soon as I smelled it, and the same too as at the Maggard meetup, as soon as I opened that and smelled it, boom, I knew I was going to buy that one. Absolutely beautiful scent. And I think if I had a kind of a runner-up or one I would add into the mix, maybe up or down, I just don't have it to smell it again, so I really can't remind myself. The Panna Crema Blue was also a real standout scent. I just don't have it here to kind of remind myself of what it was, so that's kind of on the, I think that was a fantastic scent, I just can't remind myself. But I'm assuming it was really good. All right, well, there they are, the 2018 scent favorites. And man, that really covers kind of a wide range of different kinds of scents. You have, well, let's not cover it all again. We just went through them. All right, well, now, there are a few things that did not work that well for me this year. So I just want to make clear that these are things that did not work for me. They may work for you. These are products you may love. They just didn't work that great for me. So, Case Shaveworks soap, I was just not able to get that to be as slick as many of the other soaps I used this year. As I said, I've used 47 soaps. Unfortunately, that one, it just never really came together. It lathers easily, but it just never produced a slick lather, so that's an unfortunate thing. The Creed Green Irish Tweed smells amazing. Frankly, just not a good soap. I simply could not get a good lather out of that. I did switch brushes and it helped improve it, but it never improved it to a point where the lather was really any good, and it certainly doesn't compare at all to many other soaps that I've used through the course of the year. So unfortunately, smells great, not a good soap for me at all. The Mühle R41, so I think I used that twice this year. That's just not a good razor for me. It's just too aggressive. And by aggressive, I think it just really means just the lack of comfort there. There's too much sort of naked blade feel. And although you don't feel like the blade's out of control, for me at least, that is not a comfortable shave at all. Now, it definitely works well. When you shave, it's incredibly efficient. The hair is totally gone, but in many ways, kind of an unpleasant shave. So yeah, I'm not likely to pull that one out of the loot box again. I'll keep the head obviously because why not, but chances are I'm not going to be using that very often, if at all. And then in a similar vein, the Gillette new long comb. So I think basically 2 out of the 3 passes are pretty good, but the against the grain was really not. Just something very uncomfortable about that razor. Now it's great to shave with a razor that's that old. That's kind of a fun feel to it. But in terms of comfort, nah, that's really, really not the razor for me. I know people love those vintage Gillettes, including the new, but that's the new type, but just not for me really. The other one, which was sort of down for me but up for others, was the Hydra, the 3D printed head. I simply could not find a comfortable way to shave with that razor. I tried, but it just did not work out for me. But there are apparently many others that are enjoying that razor quite a bit and are getting great shaves out of it. And I would fully expect to see that razor design or that head design continue to evolve. But in the current incarnation, at least for me, that head just did not work that well. All right, I tried 2 Zenith brushes this year, as you saw. One I think is called the Zenith Pro Plastic or the Zenith Plastic Pro. That bore is incredibly floppy. Like as soon as you get that knot wet, it just has zero backbone to it. And I can imagine just how frustrating that brush is to use for most people. It's very hard to use to pick up enough soap. It's very hard to use on your face. It doesn't feel like most brushes. It feels like something's kind of wrong with that knot. Now, you can of course make it work, as I've demonstrated in a couple videos. It does take some extra work to do. And if I had to choose, I would never choose that knot over the other Zenith knot, which is fantastic. So you have an option there to pick up the B03A26. I think that's the number for that one. Absolutely go for that one and skip that Plastic Pro. Another shaving soap that just did not work for me was the Pereira shave soap. That was the activated charcoal. That was just really kind of average for me. It just never really did anything special. Didn't stand out in any particular way. It just, really just okay for me. I know other people seem to love it, but for me, just not that much to it. And then finally, I know what you're all thinking. There's got to be one last one. Well, of course there is. I tried it again. I gave it a good honest shot. But the fact is that today's version of the Williams mug soap is still terrible. Now, maybe you're getting a great lather out of it with some special hot water soaking techniques. Not worth it to me at all. That is not a good shaving soap, and there are 100 other alternatives that are way better. If it were me, I would move on from the Williams immediately. Now, with that said, I have a couple vintage versions of Williams coming up in 2019 that I'm quite looking forward to. And we'll see just how far that soap has fallen from its previous pedestal. We shall see just how well that goes. Well, that pretty much covers 2018. We've talked about the highlights. We've talked about pleasures and surprises. We've talked about my favorite scents. We've talked about some of the things that did not work that well for me. And in the end, I just want to say once again, as always, thank you so much for your participation. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching these videos. It does me a world of good. I just watch people participate and sort of engage in the community. It's one of the reasons why I keep doing this, because I think that this is something where people can certainly enjoy a fun hobby, but also do something better for themselves. And if you are a new wet shaver, or even if you've been wet shaving for a while, you know as well as I do just how many more fantastic options you have. Wet shaving is going great, but it's up to us to continue to help that market grow and spread the word a little bit. So I'm counting on you to do that in 2019. I'll be there as well doing my bit. Thank you once again so much for watching. I really appreciate the time you're taking to watch these videos. All the best for 2019, and I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much, and goodbye.